hopefully you've had a chance to open your SPP roadmap folder. You might want to have this folder open in another tab or window so that you can access the documents as we're going over them. But if not, you can follow along with the slides. So once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today to learn about Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process. This is the agenda for today, and we have put a link to the agenda and note catcher as I mentioned in the chat. You're going to click the link and then click Use Template to make your own copy. And the agenda includes all of the links that we're going to be referencing today. Our learning intention for today is for us to learn how to lead data-driven conversations, to reflect on your school's goals, and make decisions about changes to the SPP roadmap for the upcoming school year. By the end of this session, you'll be able to describe how to facilitate Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process, and you'll know how and where to access our guidance and resources for the CI team lead. During our session, you're going to see that many of the CCSD instructional leadership expectations are evident within the work that you lead at your school. As a CI team lead, you will lead data-driven conversations around instruction and assessment results. You're already attending professional learning to guide the CI team through each step of the process, and you're going to create opportunities to engage the community in the school's improvement efforts. The continuous improvement process is evident in many standards and indicators of the NEPF, both for administrators and teachers. By leading this important work, you're creating and sustaining a focus on learning, the culture of continuous improvement, productive relationships, and structures and systems for school improvement. Specifically, through engaging the CI team in data-driven conversations, in conjunction with the collective efforts of school staff, the school performance plan will be targeted, impactful, and will result in improved student outcomes, which aligns with the vision of the Board of School Trustees to improve student success, develop highly effective staff, and connect with all members of the school community. Nevada's continuous improvement process is an ongoing cycle that helps move a school forward. And at the conclusion of the school year, CI teams engage in Act 3, during which they reflect on the implementation of the plan to determine where they should go next. The plan is developed and implemented through Act 1, and CI teams monitor the action steps for each goal and analyze relevant data to gauge the progress toward these goals as they move into Act 2. This work once again helps to inform the reflection and decision-making process in Act 3, and so on, with the expectation that each year improves upon the last. So as the CI team lead, you're responsible for scheduling and facilitating meetings with the school CI team throughout the school year, preparing data visualizations, distributing tasks to team members, submitting completed work, and informing and soliciting input from the community to support the school's continuous improvement efforts. So deliberate and strategic efforts should be made to engage the broader school community in this work. And you can do this in combination with other opportunities, such as during SOT meetings, staff meetings, any math and literacy nights, or other family engagement events.
Act 3 is an opportunity for end-of-year reflection and for making decisions about the plan for the upcoming school year. The resources and documents you will need in order to facilitate Act 3 can be found in your school's SPP roadmap folder, and they're linked on the guidance and resources document. And the steps to complete Act 3 include preparing the relevant data to determine progress towards meeting the SPP goals, meeting with the CI team and the school organizational team, completing the status tracker document, and posting the Act 3 tab to the school's website and providing the website link via the Act 3 website submission form. Before the CI team meeting, relevant data should be gathered, analyzed, and visualized to help guide the discussion. This data should be related to the outcomes of each goal and improvement strategy. To understand what data to collect and visualize, you're going to want to start by looking at the goals and improvement strategies in your SPP roadmap. The data should be summarized in a finding statement to present to the CI team to guide the conversation. A slide deck template is linked in the directions that you can copy and use to present the visualizations, but you're free to share that data any way that you choose. Also, don't forget that Focus Ed has many data visualizations that can be downloaded, and the quarterly progress monitoring reports include data for attendance, behavior, MAP growth assessments, and grades. You're going to prepare data that helps the CI team answer the following questions. Did we achieve the goals in the SPP roadmap? And were the improvement strategies successful? Now, some summative data will not be available during Act 3, so formative assessment results can help the team anticipate if the goal will be met. So, for example, if the goal is related to SBAC or ACT scores, the MAP growth projected proficiency data may be used to make an informed decision about the expected summative results. High schools might also look at the results of CERT formative assessments. To determine whether the improvement strategies were successful, take a look at whether the intended outcomes in the SPP were accomplished and whether the action steps were completed. The next step is to bring the CI team together to discuss the data and the outcomes of the SPP. A sample agenda is linked on the directions, and you are not required to use this agenda, but meetings held throughout the continuous improvement process should be documented and added to the evidence folder inside the SPP roadmap folder. To help keep the meeting focused, you're going to follow the now, next, need protocol to guide the conversation as the team reviews the data. This conversation protocol is similar to the one that is used during the status checks. However, there are some key differences in the guiding questions themselves. Begin the conversation by sharing the data related to the SPP goal that you're focusing on and focusing the conversation on these guiding questions. How successful were we at implementing our improvement strategies? What does our data reveal about our progress towards our goal? How have our improvement efforts impacted achievement across demographic groups? And what have we learned about ourselves and our school through this goal and these improvement strategies? After discussing the current results, you're going to move into the next guiding questions. Here, the team will make decisions about whether to continue, correct, or cancel the goals and the improvement strategies for the next year's SPP roadmap. This is an important component of Act 3 because these decisions will inform the SPP revisions in the next CIP Act. The need guiding questions help the team plan for what support and resources are needed in order to be successful. This part of the conversation can help to inform changes to funding once the fall budget workbooks are open. Follow the now, next, need protocol for each of the goals and improvement strategies in the SPP roadmap. Okay, we're going to take a look back at the directions. Please be mindful of the requirement to seek advice and assistance from the school organizational team before the end of the school year. The next step is to complete the status tracker. You should be familiar with your school status tracker as you have already completed the master sheet and both of the status checks this year. The only information to enter on the master sheet tab is the date of your Act 3 CI team meeting in the cell that is highlighted yellow. The remaining white cells will be automatically filled based on the information entered in the Act 3 tab. You'll click on the bottom of the spreadsheet to access the Act 3 tab. Starting on the right-hand side, the now, next, need conversation should be summarized in a brief narrative. Although this is a separate step in the directions, this work can be completed during the Act 3 meeting. As you engage in the conversation, you can designate a note taker to summarize the discussion in the Act 3 tab as it happens. Based on the data that is presented and the conversation, these questions can be answered. Did we achieve our goal? Will we continue, correct, or cancel the goal for the upcoming school year? Were our improvement strategies successful? And will we continue, correct, or cancel the strategy? You'll click on the small arrow in each cell to select an answer from the drop-down menu. When the Act 3 tab is completed, it will look like this sample. So once more, let's go back into the directions and take a look at the last step. Once the Act 3 tab has been completed, it should be downloaded and posted to the school's website. Finally, complete the Act 3 website submission form, which is linked on the directions. Completing the submission form will notify the School Improvement Department and region supervisors that Act 3 has been completed and it is posted on the school's website. The submission form does ask for the link to the website page where the Act 3 tab is posted, and it also asks for acknowledgement that the SOT has been consulted regarding changes to the SPP roadmap. Posting this information to the school's website is an important part of communication with the school community. To ensure that this information is easily found, we suggest posting all school improvement documents in the same location on your website. Older CIP documents should be removed from the website so that the current SPP and progress is being clearly communicated. We are going to pause here for a second just to give you the opportunity to ask any questions or share any ideas or experiences that might help others with completing Act 3.
I'm going to mention just something for you to consider. The data from your spring MAP administration will not be available in Focus Ed until May 24th. So our licensed now it'll be available in NWEA, but it's not going to be visualized in Focus Ed until after the licensed educator's contract ends. And we know that our teachers are a very important part of this process. So a couple of things to be thinking about is how you're going to include and engage our licensed educators in that end of the year reflection. We do have information coming out in the wire on April 2nd, so Tuesday, to provide some information about some additional pay that could be made available to your educators to engage in those conversations. So please be looking for that.
I have a different question about Act 1. So if we can do this simultaneously alongside with Act 3, because the due dates for Act 1 are July and August, it looks like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, if some of us are not working during that time, then we
Right.
would need to make sure that it's completed before we're done.
Yes, really good question and observation, Shannon. Yes, so basically Act 3 is that reflection of the year, those data-driven decision-making about what we're going to do in the next year. So when Alberto was sharing that you could assign somebody during your Act 3 meeting to be in the status tracker, documenting the conversation, you could also have somebody actually in your roadmap making those real-time adjustments to your plan so that, and you can, and we'll get into this or reiterate it when we talk about Act 1, but those two acts can occur simultaneously in the same meeting. You do not have to have a separate meeting. So we actually have a combined agenda for Act 3 and Act 1 linked in your resources that you can use for that evidence.
Hi, I was looking at the due dates. So if we want to be able to meet with the parents and everything, we would have to do it before school gets out and the teachers, or I'm looking, there's like Friday, August 30th, Monday, July 8th. So basically it all has to be done before May 22nd, both acts, yeah?
So Act 3, and if you're going to do them simultaneously, yes, it would be, you would want to have that completed by
Okay,
the end of the school year or
okay,
the week following, right?
okay,
So that the plan can get developed and submitted over the summer.
okay,
We can take a look at it and provide input. Region supervisors can approve it prior to the start of the school year. That way you can share it in August when your educators come back, share it with your parents and your school community, and have that plan ready to go from the first day of school. We have a question in the chat, not specific to Act 3, but how do we get our contact information for our school updated? You can just send us an email and we'll take care of that for you.
Jen will now take us through the section in the SPP related to targeted student groups and how it relates to our CCSD achievement data.
Awesome. Thank you, Alberto. Before we move on to Act 1 of the CIP cycle, we want to point out that there are other important aspects of the SPP that you might want to consider with the team during Act 3. One of the guiding questions in the Now Next Need protocol that Alberto went over asks how the improvement strategies have impacted achievement across demographic groups. Although it may not be represented in the status tracker, all schools have detailed the support that they provide to each student group in the equity support section of the SPP roadmap. Act 3 is a great opportunity to discuss the progress of student groups and to identify areas where achievement gaps are closing and areas that need further attention. In fact, providing those details for how to address the underperformance of student groups is a requirement for schools with designations such as ATSI and TSI, as well as schools that are required to develop corrective action plans through AB 219. And this conversation is so important because we've all seen the district-wide data, and we don't just see this underperformance in the overall results. We also see significant and long-standing achievement gaps among the student groups. And this is present in ELA, in elementary school, in middle school, and in high school. And we also see it in our math results at all school levels. It's on the SBAC, and we see this in the ACT in high school. The science results for each school level also show similar gaps, and it's imperative to acknowledge that these gaps may contribute to lower rates of academic achievement and also success with any future opportunities. So keeping those gaps in mind during the CIT conversations can help ensure that we are providing equitable educational experiences for all students. The SPP is the vehicle to document the tiered supports that schools will implement to address the identified needs of all learners and student groups. And Alberto is going to take us through Act 1, where the SPP is updated.
The information gathered during Act 3 discussions will guide the revisions to the SPP roadmap which occurred during Act 1 roadmap development or revision. Act 1 is an opportunity for school teams to decide to either revise the existing SPP roadmap for the upcoming school year or engage in the full process to develop a new plan. The resources and documents you will need in order to facilitate Act 1 can be found in your school's SPP roadmap folder, linked on the guidance and resources document. The steps for Act 1 include preparing the SPP roadmap for the upcoming school year, sharing the plan with the school community, posting it on the school website, and submitting the updated SPP. The Act 1 directions and resources document includes what is needed in order to engage in this work. The Roadmap Revision Tool and the SPP Roadmap Revision Guide are linked in Step 1 of the Act 1 directions. These tools provide guidance that should be considered when revising the existing SPP roadmap. If you are planning on developing a new school performance plan, please contact the School Improvement Department for direct guidance and technical assistance. Use the approval checklist to ensure you have met all of the criteria prior to submitting your plan for approval. This document is used by both the School Improvement Department and region leadership when reviewing plans. Use the link on the Act 1 directions to submit your plan. The School Improvement Department will review your plan and let you know if any changes need to be made before it's submitted to the principal's supervisor for approval. As we review the SPP roadmaps, we will use the Google Docs comment feature and the approval checklist to provide feedback. When edits are complete, please let us know by replying to the main comment on the cover page of the SPP roadmap. You will be notified when your plan has been forwarded to region leadership and will receive the plan via email once it has been approved. Once you have been notified of approval, you will present the SPP roadmap at a public meeting in August. This could be part of an open house, school organizational team meeting, or Title I parent meeting. Then post the approved SPP roadmap to the school's website. After posting the approved SPP roadmap, you'll submit the link through the CIP Act 1 website submission form. Please make sure to also remove any older versions of the SPP roadmap from the school website. Act 1 provides opportunities to develop or revise the school's SPP roadmap with a focus on strengthening the instructional core. The Student Success Inquiry area focuses on what our students are doing. The Adult Learning Culture area helps us ensure that we are building the knowledge and skills of our teachers and instructional staff. And the Connectedness area focuses on providing multi-tiered systems of support to ensure our students find relevance and connections to the content. And I think Jen is ready to take us through to the closing of today's presentation.
We've now reached the final portion of our professional learning session today, and this is where we're going to reflect on the learning that's taken place. An invaluable resource for you is our guidance and resources document. And a shortcut to this document is located in your school's SPP roadmap folder and contains linked resources and due dates for each act of the CIP. And here is the timeline and actions associated with Act 3 and Act 1. Remember that the submission forms may be turned in any time once the work is complete. You do not need to wait until the due date. Your SPP roadmap will be approved no later than August 2nd, which, as April mentioned earlier, allows every school to have an approved school performance plan at the beginning of the school year. You can use already scheduled public meetings as an opportunity to present your SPP roadmap to the community to ensure that these deadlines are met. And as we close our session today, we're going to take a look at our intended outcomes and what we've accomplished. Today, we learned about leading data-driven conversations with this continuous improvement team to reflect on our school goals and inform decisions about the SPP roadmap. Also, you should be able to describe how to facilitate Act 3 and Act 1 of the continuous improvement process and know how and where to access our guidance and resources for the CI team lead. Support from the School Improvement Department is available. You can reach out to us by completing a SID support request form, and this form is also linked at the end of the directions for each act, and it's on your agenda and note catcher. You can also directly contact the coordinator who's assigned to your region or call the School Improvement Department. If you're at a school in Region 2, you can contact anyone in the School Improvement Department. Remember, we are here to help. And we really want to thank you for participating in today's session. And we'd really like it and appreciate it if you would take time to complete this survey. Your feedback is crucial to ensuring that we provide you with learning opportunities and support that best meets your needs. Thank you very much.